Regional qualifiers for Worlds 2018. We are already into Champion Select. TSM making a much faster day of it here today. Cloud9 kind of the same as we get ourselves into picks and bans. Kindred and Zillion still off the table. Blabber and Jensen still starting. Of course, they did win, so it seems like a good idea. Cloud9 this time around adding just a couple more jungle bans to their first round.
Yeah, both teams very eager to get back into this because TSM felt like that one slipped through their fingers. They had, the Baron and a lot of momentum, but Cloud9 with one good engagement put them up 1-0 in this series to get them here today. Again, these bans very similar, but look, TSM has changed one thing. Camille now off the table for Blabber. Very big playmaking and very big early presence.
Very big early presence, but also I feel a champion with a somewhat limited champion pool. Kindred with 4 picks, Camille now with 4 picks as well. His next most played with more than one is Nocturne. Everything else is a one-off and frequently not very successful. So now Aatrox also taken away by TSM. They are removing lots of Cloud9's options.
Yeah, well, while TSM have pretty much always had Grig on a tank jungler, Cloud9 like to keep Blabber primarily on these damage threats so that he can have the ability to skirmish, the ability to invade with laners that are pushing early on in the game. Something that has been banned out against them a lot as well has been the Hecarim, which they did show against Team Liquid and didn't have early effectiveness. The Predator gank early on didn't actually find its mark, and then he just had to scale up, went Cinderhulk first, and Hecarim doesn't then have a lot of punch if you don't, get your Sheen or Trinity Force or something. But we can see another look at maybe why teams banned it so much against them with another attempt in this game.
For sure, going to be exciting one to watch for how he can do in this one. Interestingly, Blabber has not played any Graves all year, which I find odd based on his play style, but never been picked up, and obviously not going for it here. The Hecarim on the table. Zyrakan grabbed him for TSM. This is obviously an amazing 2-on-2 lane. TSM already won the 2-on-2 bot lane. Last time around, they had pressure and a CS lead. We'll see if they can do it again with now the probably premier bot lane duo.
Yeah, definitely going to be big here. A lot of playmaking ability in Mithy's hands. As far as this duo, it's very strong, but my eyes will be on Mithy because he has been good on Tahm Kench, the odd Shen pick, even Gragas once in a while there, but those are much more tanky champions for the support role than Rakan is. Rakan has great lightning quick engagement abilities to actually pick a fight for the team, but he also has to worry about his exit path. And we have seen Mithy get blown up in games that TSM do lose. So that is definitely going to be a point of focus.
I kind of want to see a Syndra. That one feels like the most obviously killing Rakan right away. He goes in, you just ult him, and you'll at least 1-for-1.
Yeah, you just ult him, or you can knock him back. You can hit him with the stun. I have seen that be very effective as far as mid-lane team fight counters to Rakan.
Yeah.
Another thing worth mentioning is how good Licorice was on the Aatrox in the team fights. He did get picked off a lot in the side lane. However, he was very big for Cloud9 in winning so many of their skirmishes, creating a lot of those openings for them, and of course, the game-winning pick onto Mithy. So that's an important takeaway that TSM are grabbing for Hauntzer.
Yeah, I think he's actually been really incredible. Licorice on that Aatrox. Hauntzer, we'll see how he does in this one. Certainly, TSM have looked good in the regional qualifier, but stiffer competition now as Cloud9 add 2 more jungle bans to the list, but Trundle conspicuously still up. Could be one for Greg, of course. A plethora of junglers overall available. TSM get away the Urgot that could have been the counter pick, but we'll see what else they want to get rid of here. Cloud9 will have first dibs. I don't expect them to blind pick mid because they get to counter pick the matchup, but yeah, I think it's really high priority. They just might. Syndra is off the table. Now, Aurelia would be Bjergsen's most played this split and certainly a flashy champion, though I don't expect it to be blinded.
Yeah, people always want to see Bjergsen on a champion that has the ability to make big plays for the team. Whether it is a high damage champion or a champion with some big AoE CCs. We saw him be one of the players of the game just last week with a Galio. Huge 4-man taunts coming out of him. Not going to be the case this time around as Jensen takes it away. And that is kind of forfeiting lane priority, and you're saying, okay, if you want, you can run like a LeBlanc into my Galio and try and punish me early and try and roam around and kill people, but I am going to be a big presence for the team and have the ability to set up the team. There's your Trundle, though, Freak, that you were mentioning, and you're looking for as far as some tank shredding and some possible early dueling.
I think it's so good against Galio as well, who runs Aftershock, and he lands the taunt. You're like, think for the stats, and then he goes to negative 700 armor, and you kill him in 3 auto attacks. And the Cassiopeia actually going to go over to TSM now as well, so I think they have an insane backline here. Cassiopeia, Xayah. I think the engage is not bad with Rakan, just can die for it. Now Cloud9's got to find their last pick.
If we're giving, like damage ratings to team compositions, TSM just went from a 1 to a 7 right here.
Yeah.
Very quickly, because not only do they have DPS champions in most of the roles, but they also have the Trundle shredding.
It's Hecarim top.
Yeah. Oh, nice little adjustment here from Cloud9 in Champion Select. It's been a long time since we've seen a solo lane Hecarim, but again, they always used to run the Ignites, 4 kills in lane with the extra speed. Honestly, if Vedius is watching, a shout out to solo lane Nocturne, because it does have viability. And honestly, I would actually give a shout out to older players that have been watching previous seasons. Hotshot GG, the founder of Counterlogic Gaming, was very adamant that mid lane Nocturne was very good 5 years ago, because you can instantly clear the minion wave with your Q and AoE auto. He was the OG solo lane Nocturne, and people did laugh at him back then as well. But it's not going to be the case here, and we're going to have the Hecarim, which is still exciting for the top lane matchup, and how Licorice is going to take it into the Aatrox.
It's going to be fun. I can't say that I know the Aatrox Hecarim matchup at all. Never seen it played. This is going to be exciting, although I don't think I've seen it either.
Speed is definitely very good against Aatrox, so the E is going to be instrumental in dodging out of the Q sweet spot, and then you can also get a little knockback onto Aatrox himself. Hecarim is very good at setting up for your junglers. Whenever I see a Hecarim top, you would gravitate towards that in a solo queue game to try and camp for him, because he brings Ignite, and that is actually a huge damage advantage in a 1v1 or even 2v2 scenario. That does happen.
Yeah, definitely is a self-healer really on both those matchups. In fact, the entire top side of the map is a self-healing champion, whether it's the Aatrox, the Trundle, or the Cassiopeia. The Ignite definitely does have value. No spellbooks across the board here onto this one, but this will be a very exciting game. We are in a game 2 of the series, everybody. Cloud9 took down TSM 3-2 in the semifinals. TSM very much want revenge here, or it will be the first time in World's history TSM will not make it to that world stage. Cloud9 could be the one to end that run really twice in the same split.
Oh, I like that Licorice is actually running the phase rush here on the Hecarim. Instead of, very common Predator for them to make big plays for the rest of the team and maybe roam mid, phase rush is actually good for your lane because he can convert so much move speed into damage. What you do is you get your E to dodge one of the Q sweet spots and engage on the Aatrox to proc your phase rush with your auto and Q plus E, and then you have sustained move speed to dodge the follow-up ones from Aatrox. It's going to be very micro-intensive matchup here. I'll be very curious to see them actually play out the lane phase when they do go for these trades, because it depends a lot on Licorice using his speed to dodge, while Haunter is going to try and correct for it with his Umbral dashes. And if you don't land something like second or third Qs on him, then Hecarim can make a bad Aatrox player look very silly. But again, jungle matchup there does play so heavily into these two top laners.
I think the jungle matchup might play into the mid lane a bit as well. Bjergsen, of course, no native escapes, can certainly be hard CC'd. A random stat, this is Bjergsen's 17th champion this split. That is a ludicrously large champion pool. Hasn't played Cassiopeia till now. Obviously, Urgot, first time, last one as well.
He is one of the longest standing players in the North American LCS. Has been good on so many different things at so many different times.
Yeah.
And even though he's under a lot of criticism when TSM loses and people put him on a champion that they don't like, he is shown to be very good on all of them at some time. Now on Cassiopeia, high damage. I think everybody's going to be comfortable with that. But we just saw right there, Licorice using his Corrupting Potion and the Q spam to trade with Haunter within the lane, because if you Q, you don't have to take minion aggro. You can just push him off. You can apply your Corrupting Potion burn, and Haunter had to cede control of the minion wave early.
Yeah, I want to point out a random thing. There's an 8-second cooldown between your third Q and this cooldown coming back up, and Haunter is basically cooldown-less between those times. So Licorice has a very large window to get several Qs off, get a lot of trading in. You can see now this lane being pushed in, and we'll track when that first recall comes through.
Yeah, it's very important to, especially early on, pay attention to the reactivations of the Qs from Aatrox, because you can have very big windows where the threat is gone. Licorice now, since he was able to push the wave, does get to roam down, sees the Scuttle Crab taken from Grigg, so a little bit of information here to Cloud9 as far as Grigg's positioning on top side for sure. But again, he got both Scuttles, so, or actually he didn't get them, but TSM as a team were able to get both Scuttles for themselves, so early double Scuttle control with all the vision that goes with it.
Yeah, it's definitely really nice for them. Cloud9, however, just slightly in the gold lead so far. Interestingly enough, we've got a little bit on their side. We look at the various camps and farms, and it's actually much closer. Sneaky and Zazel so far okay on their early camp, despite the fact that that Scuttle got picked up. Quick recall at level 4 coming through for Blabber. Grigg in a similar spot if he wants to go back. Wait for the first major plays in this game, but so far it's just the farming phase.
Now Blabber should go out to the top side because he did the full clear where you go Krug second and then kind of reverse down to the bottom. He's trying to farm up, get that level 6 for Nocturne as quickly as possible. But Grigg is already onto the invade. Because they didn't see Nocturne, you can kind of deduce that he went from red up to Krug's side. Grigg does go over a ward. I think they know he placed it though, so they may be aware that there could be a collapse. Maybe they didn't see him actually place it. Cloud9 though are going to reveal themselves. Grigg on the opposite side.
2v1 onto Grigg, pushing him backwards, looking for some damage here. A lot of pain now at half HP. Pillar comes in, the flash to follow. He's fleeing, but he's going to die. And now a 2v1 topside. Haunts are cutting away. Jensen here as well. Will he flash to follow? Gets the taunt. The knockup. 2 for 0. Cloud9.
I actually want to see a replay of Licorice going down to the Tribush to place that ward, but here we go, and engage on bottom too.
They're not even done just yet. The knockup's gonna land. Ignite is on as well. Zazel, he's got to flash away. He'll buy some time, but he will burn down, and there's gonna be beef for dinner for Sven. What a kill.
TSM's bottom side are able to get one back for themselves and kind of reestablish a morale boost for the team as top side was just demolished. And I won this replay. Here we go. Licorice, they didn't have vision of him walking down, but he kind of was walking up there, so maybe a little bit of communication as far as there could have possibly been a ward place, but look at this. You gotta know something is up. When Licorice is positioning like that, Grigg though, easy for Cloud9 to focus him down, and on Trundle, there's no more possible escape, so very good by Blabber. He just flashes over, retains the Fear Tether. Jensen roams up from the mid lane. You can see Bjergsen still in mid lane farming the minions as Galio came up to claim the extra kill. And that was a big swing for Cloud9's top side.
Yeah, absolutely huge. And I'm wondering if there was miscommunication on the fact that Galio is coming up, because you could have run towards your turret instead of going for the flash over the wall. He ends up watching into the Galio and gets flash taunted.
Yeah, definitely uncoordinated play from TSM on the top side, not quite accounting for the movements of Cloud9. You don't always have to have the perfect vision of the enemy team, but read a little bit into the positioning that they're going for and see if they're giving away anything in a tell as far as which side they're hovering. Meanwhile, 2 kills the Nocturne. Every single time this champion is picked, every single caster talks about this guy needs to snowball. This guy needs to get his damage early so he can use his ults effectively. Well, 2 early kills, level 6 on Nocturne now, does have Paranoia available, and there are flashes across the board that are possible to punish. Zaya's not level 6 yet, and Sven, even though they got the kill on bottom side for TSM, did use his flash.
And look at that stat up there, 7.8 to 78 forward percentage. That is how much pressure the Aatrox had in that side lane. Of course, the champion gets taken away. Thank you very much, Stats team, putting that one up there. And this one around, it's Licorice again, finding himself a pretty decent matchup. He's understood a bit more now, but it feels like he does have some level of pressure.
And it's a really good point to bring up how Cloud9, when people were talking about how scared they were of this team from scrims, a big reason cited was that they can run anything at a high level. And this swap of a Hecarim, which is even surprising in a jungle pick. Actually, Jensen take you a lot on the way out here.
Forward is weird.
But even a Hecarim jungle is a fairly rare occurrence, right? But also having the ability to swap it topside into a good matchup into the Aatrox here and being able to have Licorice play it quite well. Blabber now going for an invade. No flash on Grigg.
They're going to be Zaza coming across. He does not have his own flash, nor does he have Hex Flash. He can't get away. And that's going to be Pillar keeping that Trundle safe, or the Blast Cone, rather.
Yeah, Blabber, he saw the Blast Cone. I think he was almost in range, or had to theorize that he was going for it there. So a little questionable use of the ult, because the ult right now is such a powerful tool.
Yeah.
With a lot of TSM laners not having flashes. And he does kind of waste that one, but we'll see what the pause is about in a second.
And right now it's Sven talking with the refs. Maybe it's on him and it wasn't even about the junglers fighting, but again, we'll wait to see. Speculation will be later. Either way, it's still a pretty close game. Okay, looks like it is Sven specifically, so we'll get into that at some point. But yeah, very close game. That 2-for-0 on the top side, obviously really, really good. The Nocturne is going to have a really healthy recall when that finally comes through. The misplay on the bot side, like completely unrelated, just thinking they could have taken down Rakan. Obviously, that was wrong from Zeyzal, and they're able to burn through that aftershock. So it still feels like a game where Sven can be the one to tip the scales here for TSM's side. He has a Cassiopeia backing him up, but Zaya with an early kill is going to feel great.
All right, QC has informed us that they are investigating a hitch on Sven's screen right now. So I'll look into that and get right back to you. But man, what a different look to this game 2 than what we had in game number 1. Cloud9 success on the top side, but again, TSM did get their 2v2 kill in lane versus Sneaky Zeyzal on the bottom side, and Zaya Rakan now just getting to their level 6 spot, where Mithy will have the opportunity here on this Rakan. We said big magnifying glass is going to be on him for this game because he is the one with a lot of powerful potential for engagement on his Rakan. We know with Flash and level 6 becoming available soon, he has a possibility of setting up his team.
Yeah, I agree with you. Rakan is I think, 80% of TSM's engage tools. Like, yes, Aatrox can and Trundle can, like Flash Cassio ults can, but it is mostly all on Rakan. It's on Mithy making good choices. It is a player, or he is a player, I should say, who's been maligned a lot this year, I would say, from having some very bad choices. There have been some pretty infamous Tom Kench ults, bringing the team into death. Like, he has had some bad decisions made before, but I definitely think he's been looking better and better and better in the postseason. A great player, you know, a huge veteran, of course, of the scene. And I do think that with the extra gold in his pockets as well, I think he'll have a really good chance at being the one to start the fights for TSM and pick the right ones.
And it can be a very difficult job when you are Rakan because you are so squishy that you have to pull it off that quickly. And when there's a Galio and a Nocturne on the enemy team, it can be very difficult you know, to pull that off without the counter engage coming through because Blabber and Jensen can both answer one of those engagements from a fairly far distance away on the map if they have their ultimates available. It's up to TSM to coordinate those. Meanwhile, Cloud9 signaling that they are ready. So TSM, if they're ready, then we can get back into it.
All right, yeah, was told Sven thought he saw a hitch on his screen. Looks like we're back okay. No chrono break, just into the game we go. And that BF sword gonna feel good. Extra boots because of that extra kill down there, but look at this with pressure on the bottom side. Cloud9 feeling pretty good, and Infernal Drake will go over to Blabber after forcing Brig away. Yeah, quick pick up there.
Neat little trick with the Nocturne is your Spell Shield does work on Dragon auto attack. So in addition to blocking the damage, because Dragon's Flame Breath is a spell, is coded as a spell, you also get a huge burst in your attack speed. And once you've got your jungle item, you can annihilate that objective if left open. So C9's pushing bottom lane there, allowing Blabber to get an early Infernal Drake. This is dream snowball for Nocturne.
Brig
Here we go, though.
Friends, yeah, 2-on-2 up here. Smite fight gets away from him, so Brig not able to pick that one up. Top Scuttle goes over to Cloud9's side. In this game within 300 gold.
All right, TSM's bottom side. Kind of threatening here in the minion wave. They're forcing Cloud9 off and trying to deny as much as they can. This is TSM's area of strength. While they have to worry about the Nocturne Galio combination, turning it around on bottom side, they still want to get as much out of this as possible. Mithy also clearing out some vision for themselves, you know, to try and set up.
All right, well, let's see for the next plays. Of course, the break off the table, and Rift Herald spawning in 45 seconds. That might be the next one on the top side. TSM shove in bottom. They're currently up 20 CS. Half of that's going to get answered back as wave gets felled. And a no ever blue buff goes over to Jensen as he knocks in a blast cone or a Scryer's Bloom as well. Mid lane is equal. The one Jensen roam has kept him still in a good spot in CS. Top side within a wave. Bot side a little bit farther apart, but not terrible.
All right, Licorice is able to pick up his mallet on the way back, too. And with the Phage, you get a lot of value from the extra move speed on proc. It's going to help him out quite a bit in the trades. So even though it's one of these like mini half items, pretty good purchase for him. He does get his recall off. Doesn't have to use his teleport, We are keeping a very close eye right now on cross-map plays. Both top laners are ready with teleports. And again, Cloud9 have the advantage as far as mid-lane roaming go. So keep your eyes once again on if Bjergsen can keep the minion wave shoved up and open up an opportunity for himself to roam out, because Jensen already is kind of one up on the roams.
We'll look for round 2 pretty soon. Nice dodge by Licorice, goes right in for Hanser. Doesn't land the knock-up on that Q, and now cutting away. Won't get the third one either. It's the melee range one.
Yep, Q does have a pretty decently long cooldown as well. But again, with the ability to spam out Q with his Corrupting Potion, or I mean E, excuse me, yeah. Q. Q has a very short cooldown.
Yes, the heck room.
There we go, though. Pushing up the minion wave. Once again, on your minimap, look at Mithy. He is roaming around, putting down some vision around top lane for TSM. And you can see a lot of the wards right now, TSM side, have allowed Frigg and Mithy to get up into the river.
All right. Not the gank just yet. Going for the knockup. Now it's going to be a fight in the mid lane. 3 versus 2. Looking for a lot of damage. The flash forward. A third kill for Blabber, but here comes Mithy looking for the charm. Gets the flash in. The knockup gets the kill on the Jensen. Now it's going to be Greg running away. Does have flash, but he flashes too late. Sven now joins. It's a 2-on-2 down here, as it's going to be a very late join for Sneaky as the kills are traded back and forth. A 2 for 2. A knockup on Azazel. He pops Seal. He's going to get away as the kills are traded back and forth. A wave lost in bot, but Sneaky late to the fight.
Yeah, early roam from Sven and Mithy brings the extra guy to the battle. That means they get to chase down the extra kill. Up until then, Blabber was putting out so much damage that C9 had the advantage in the skirmish, but that shutdown is very big. Again, the TSM bottom lane is what they're counting on this game. 2 kills for Sven now, plus that was a shutdown onto the Nocturne, who had racked up 3.
Yeah, and I think that kill did go to Sven, so he is in a very good spot. And looking now towards the bottom lane as they regroup to this side of the map. We had ult for ult on the top side. Licorice ulted, and then Hanser popped his to stay alive. Ignite's still there, and it's going to be the recall out for Hanser. So it is that Aatrox pushed out of lane. A little bit of time given to Licorice, as his sustain's not too bad. Watch that fight in the mid lane once again, as it was very close.
Yeah, so TSM had just put down a bunch of control wards, so they were waiting in the fog of war to try and pull off their own gank, but Cloud9 had 3 people heal early, and Blabber doesn't hesitate to flash on Bjergsen, so they get their mid laner down first, even though Mithy does go in and finish off 1-for-1 mid laners. Since Sven roamed up and Sneaky stayed bottom to push the wave, he gets the shutdown kill here on Nocturne, and he's able to get a lot of gold back for TSM.
Blabber's very close on ultimate yet again. He's right on that timer, has the ultimate yet again. So this time a flashless, cleanseless Bjergsen. Now Jensen can't flash to get in, but he can ult to pile drive on top of that Nocturne. And as Grig kills that ward, he goes down to the bottom side, waiting for that play. Only level 9 Nocturne though, not the extended range. Has to be a little bit close to make those plays. Still not that fight in the mid lane yet, but it is on a knife's edge. At any point he can go for that fight.
Yeah, Bjergsen staying at range there, not really giving an opening for the Nocturne Galio combination to get him. Without flashes of their own for Galio Nocturne, it's actually hard to force it on that Cassiopeia so close to the turret, because they cannot dive the turret and take that damage in addition to the extra move speed and possible ult counter engage.
Nice pull back there, and Licorice going to have to lick his wounds for a couple of seconds. Hanser's still coming forward, but now Blabber coming to turn it around, and the Trundle is nowhere to be seen, so the roam's coming up. This could be a pretty easy dive. Hanser resultless. He doesn't have an easy way out of this fight as the wave comes in. There's the ult in, Nocturne will pull the aggro, and down comes Galio, gonna go for the knockup, but he's feared. He does not have anything but the flash, and it won't matter. Jensen picks up that kill, 5-3 Cloud9.
Will they try and bully down this turret? They have to push another minion wave if they really wanted to, and TSM do have members still on bottom, so it might be a race here to first turret bonus gold. It looks like Jensen pulled off of the turret race for Cloud9 on top side, but they left Blabber there, and that's going to be enough, I think. They should be able to get it with Nocturne's extra damage.
Yeah, looks like Cloud9 is faster. That will be the extra 300 gold coming in. And only by about 3 seconds, but I guessed that timer correctly. Trades on both sides of the map. You're going to see plus 17 farm for Sven on the bot side, plus 9, but a couple of assists in there for Licorice up top.
Yeah, it has been C9's story for the top half of the map, with Jensen roaming effectively, Blabber getting a lot of the kills, Licorice playing the Heck Room into the Aatrox very effectively, but the opposite has been true for TSM. Their bottom side, Sven and Mithy, the Xayah Rakan, taking objectives for the team as well here.
Cloud right now picked up on top of this one, so it's a nice commiseration for not getting first turret gold, as Rift Herald will be grabbed. No issues at all, and looks like he watched the game yesterday. Blabber waits to grab up that little sigil.
Yeah, it's very important, actually. The possibility of getting a kill somewhere with Nocturne is so high since he's got these early kills and got this early lethality with his serrated Dirk and plenty of damage to back it up. If you Nocturne ult, kill someone off in a lane, and then activate Rift Herald, you can get 2 turrets in a quick push if the enemies are not quick to send more people over to defend. So that's the play I'd be looking for, rather than just a single turret, maybe mid or something, activation. Try and go for the big cash-in, right? Try and get the kill plus, you know, the double push. Meanwhile, though, it's going to be interesting to see these 2 points of power converge. When the Nocturne tries to take down the TSM bottom lane, will Sven, with his ultimate and full summoners available, be able to stay alive? Because if he can, he's so fed right now, he'll put out significantly more damage.
Yeah.
But the Cloud9 dive is ahead, and if they can take him down, that will be the story to their success.
Yeah, I don't think Nocturne can solo this one out. If Mithy's around the charm and the knockup, you don't get through that as Nocturne. I think you just die.
Luckily for him, he's got some dive bros to go with him. Licorice on Hecarim, perfect for diving in, assisting the Nocturne, and the Galio coming down with the ultimate on top of him, as well as Sneaky, even if he feels that is safe enough for him to charge in with the Killer Instinct. The dive possible from Cloud9 is insane.
It is. It'll be up to Sven to play well around it. He's got the ultimate for disengage tool and his teammates to help for the rest of it. Now, 2 out of Spike also is a really good spot to be in. Xayah, very rich. Shiv on top of the Storm Razor is great, but you've got Trinity Force plus almost the Guardian Angel here on 2 of those Cloud9 divers. A Rod of Ages plus beginning of CDR also come in for Jensen. These spikes are coming forward.
Mid lane fighting too, and Blabber.
Blabber's got to be careful. The flash, the knockup. Here comes the Galio on top of knockup in. Can they get that kill? They're going to dive forward. The flash away. Will Blabber kind of misplayed that one against Mithy. No kills picked up, but Hunters in the chase. They find the knockup. The stopwatch 5 few seconds. They pull back in. Jensen flashing away. A kill towards Mithy, but it's traded back as Blabber falls down. Ignite on the front line, but the Cassiopeia gets the shield. Getting away from Zazel, staying alive. Sneaky versus the flash, but goes down to Sven. TSM 2-1.
Yeah, TSM take over the mid lane here. Licorice does not teleport. He's pushing on the top of your map right now. He just got the minion waves in, doesn't join the fight. TSM take it, 2 for 1 and a turret.
That is a great fight, and it ties the gold right up after all those fights early game. Getting that kill on the Blabber is big.
All right, let's take another look here. Because on the mini-map, you can see the 2 top laners were fighting during the engagement. They back off, and Hanser teleports in. Even with the Nocturne going off, he got the teleport off first, so he arrives. Meanwhile, Licorice heading down the river, pulls it off. Cloud9 make the call that they're going to just try and scramble and get out under the turret and just have him split push instead. But, you know, Zazel goes in, tries to combo Bjergsen. They have no damage to back it up. Sneaky got obliterated trying to join his team.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a big swing for TSM. Again, now this is 3 kills on Sven with the Xayah. Definitely set up for success in this game.
Yeah, and he's really respecting the Nocturne. You can see Ninja Tabby picked up now off that team fight. Wants to make sure he doesn't get one-shot by those dives. He knows how threatening that champion can be. And we'll see if that comes through. Blabber, I think he flashed before his auto attack struck Mithy. I think it was a slight misplay.
Yeah, he also, his Q came up right after it. I don't know if the Q was available then, but he threw his Q out afterwards. That also did not hit. In the end, they still got the kill onto Mithy with Jensen firing off the Winds of War. But we're already into round 2, and it has to be a Rift Herald used mid because I think it was about to time out. Yeah. And that is happy news.
Might not get the turret at all.
Happy news for TSM.
Yeah, well played. Herald picked up 100 gold and then gave some of it back for TSM killing it. Not a great objective. I take the Cloud Drake every time. TSM can feel pretty good with their 800 gold lead. Drakes roughly split, based on your opinion of how good those Drakes are. Sneaking to try to grab some farm, try to keep up with Sven, but might never do so in this fight. I think Sven always has targets that he wants to fight in range. It's 4 melee champions plus a short-range Kai'Sa. I think he can always get optimal damage out.
I agree. Right now, though, we're going to see a split. Probably should be a turret trade. Bottom side going over to Cloud9. Licorice, as soon as he drops the tower aggro, should finish it off. He does have his Trinity Force, so should be able to clean that one up fairly quickly. And TSM giving solo gold over to Sven. this guy already ahead. They want to multiply the damage output available to him, get him to an infinity edge as quickly as possible to supplement this crit and allow him to shred through the front line. TSM in the darkness around Baron Pit are going to sneak it away. I don't think Cloud9 can see it in time. Oh, 6,000 health.
Happening. Can the team join in though? 4,000 health onto Baron. This time, no 2 smites. So it's up to Blabber showing up, and it means TSM will disengage. And a sign of things to come, maybe. Blabber grabs the scuttle.
I mean, maybe it's good they backed off Baron then.
Yeah, exactly.
If Blabber's going to steal that away with a Q, then very scary. But that right there, that is a high pressure situation because they know Nocturne can ult from halfway across the screen to join in the Baron Pit. And TSM at this stage of the game don't need to 50-50 that, even though it would be risky and would be difficult for Blabber to pull off. They don't want to even give him the option.
That gives C9 the time, though, to go back into that pit and clear it away. TSM got a bit injured fighting Baron, as you do.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If you get a Nocturne flying in with a Galio ultimate inside Baron Pit, where you've already sustained considerable damage, then that is a team fight loss into a Baron, which basically will lose you the game. So you have to respect the long-range engage.
And as they go for Drake, they're going to go for the engage in the mid lane. Out goes Xayah, trying to stay alive, but the dive keeps going. You just cannot stop Cloud9. An avalanche comes through. 2 kills on the bottom laners.
Nocturne Galio, there it is on display. That could have been in the Baron Pit. Regardless, they get 2 kills, and now they can take over the vision control. Sweeper goes down, starting to take down these wards.
Wow, just everyone pressed R. They got the chases in. Cloud9 trying to play for vision around Baron. No one's hitting the bait just yet. Back to mid lane.
Dive comps are so exciting to watch. When you have almost every member on Cloud9's team able to join from half a screen away with their ultimates, it makes everywhere on the map scary for Sven. Because look at him. He's Xayah. He knows that he can even see Blabber. So he probably should have known that they were going to set this up. And even as Xayah ulting away, Nocturne Spear, something that I love as a Nocturne player, if you at least can just get the tether onto Xayah, as long as you stay in range, even during her ultimate, when she comes back down, the fear will proc because the tether stays on. You just can't target her in her ultimate. So that's what happens. Sven's got feared on the way out from Blabber, keeping his tether on, and that was enough for them to take down the TSM Hope there, the 3-kill Xayah. And that was a very good opening for Cloud9. However, TSM were able to stop them from taking the Baron afterwards, so it has not closed the door yet.
Not just yet. This game's still very close. 1,100 gold apart. Drake now picked up for TSM, that ocean for them. We watched the bottom lane fight back and forth. Licorice getting away from the knockups, but losing that trade overall.
Yeah, there's that speed, though. He is able to get out. You can choose your engagements because of the sustained speed with Phase Rush. And he's just going to back off, heal off the scuttle. Again, though, story from game number 1. You guys are just joining us. Licorice was cut outside. Here we go.
Meanwhile, Jensen is going to come in for the taunt. They're going to find Bjergsen. 1 kill picked up. Now watch for the backline. Goes in for more damage. A knockup, but he's tanky. The pillar means nothing. And the TP in for Licorice. He has the ultimate. He's going to go in. He's going to find the fear. Here comes the dive. They'll pick up Mithy. And now Hanser might have been up more than he can chew. Doesn't find the pullback. It's a 5v3. He's still diving with the ultimate. They're going to get another kill. Grig's got nowhere to go, and Hans is going to have to flash away. He's jumped with the E, and a 5v1. Cloud9's going to go for Baron.
Dive, baby, dive. Cloud9, soon as they find a squishy target in any sort of position separated from the rest of the team, they just blow all their ultimates. Importantly, though, this time around, they didn't blow them all at once. Critical pick here for Cloud9. They didn't overuse cooldowns on the initial pick. Take a look at how they pulled this off. They saw Bjergsen on their ward go into this rush. Then when he jumps out, it's just the 2 ultimates from Sneaky and Nocturne to finish it off. So they still have the Galio and Hecarim ultimates for the secondary engage. They have so many dive options that there's 2 left here for the second round of the fight. And then after they pull off, Hanser actually goes to chase down Licorice here, trying to get some damage, but look at the positioning. Opens up perfect taunt from Jensen. able to get all 3 of them there. And that is a clean sweep for Cloud9. Already 1 up in the series with a world spot on the line. They've got a huge lead in game 2 as well.
This is looking pretty good for Cloud9 fans. TSM's got to make that same comeback that C9 did in game 1, but this one much farther out of reach. 4,500 gold difference. 3,500 damage came out of Zen that fight, despite being pretty heavily dove. And it's again, speak of the devil, into the mid lane, looking for the re-engage. They've got Blabber. The knockup there has a Guardian Angel. He'll resurrect. Looking now at Greg. He's got low health bars, but he's able to walk backwards. And they find that repeat engage. There's the 2 for 0 TSM needed.
This time around, TSM can actually collapse and defend. This is Blabber going too deep, something they keep on cautioning against. That was too close to a turret versus Trundle, who got his ultimate off, getting the resistances, getting the healing on the way out, and TSM stabilize.
Well, they stabilized by getting 2 kills, but there were no objectives to pick up.
But an objective is stopping Baron push. So if you take down 2 players here, that is actually next on your objective list. Blabber dives too far in, he's getting shot by the turret, he gets taken down. Jensen trying to follow up on his engage, he gets killed, and that is such good news for TSM because so much of this Baron buff now going to waste and not being used by Cloud9 to push in.
That's absolutely the case here. So it's now only 3,000 different, and Baron just on 3 of them. Only 1 minute left. And you're right, Kobe, the push has been stopped. It could be a worse Baron power play than the TSM one, which was 2,100 last game. Ocean Drake spawning in 50 seconds. That will stand on the top of Baron buffs lasting on those 3. So C9 likely to be given that one.
Yeah, they definitely need to calm back down and set up vision first. Couple of steps here, get a little bit extra vision because they are the ones with the very threatening pick, right? If any of these TSM carries are separated from the rest of the team and trying to face check or anything, that Cloud9 have a very easy option to engage on them, but they have to do the setup work.
Nocturno goes to the side. They found his split pushing Aatrox. He's going to get resurrected. They're going to keep cutting back to the squad. They're all grouped up. A big taunt. Just going to find one. The fear not going to land. But the feathers go the wrong way. Sven's not going to be part of this fight. But look at the re-engage. The damage output. Cassiopeia picks up 1. And that pillar just stuffs them up. Cloud9 can barely retreat, but they do so. A 1-for-1.
Ooh, Sven put out a lot of damage there on the Xayah, but you can see how much damage the Winds of War did to him. He would have had to be very careful on the way out. It's a 1-for-1 though. Even with Haunter being picked off across the map, separated from the rest of the team. Now, Cloud9 want to finish this turret. They have no Baron buff left, but they should be able to get it.
And they knew Sven was chunked out, had to recall, so the 4v3, they pushed down the mid lane, swing on over to the Drake. That should be theirs as well.
Yep, 2 objectives picked up here for Cloud9 off of that slim victory that they were able to pull off in the mid lane fight. TSM, again, they have to be so careful, even though it's very difficult to stay grouped up and you're going to lose out on side lane pressure. Every time C9 sees someone separated, they're going to use these ults to pick you off. So Haunter immediately goes down on Resurrection here, but look at the TSM damage. Bjergsen and... Oh, actually, that's a backwards ult from Ven.
Yep.
Whoops. Yeah. Happens when you're kind of panicking a bit on Xayah. He wanted to ult the other way, and then you have to move your mouse to the other side because you're trying to move back in your ultimate. So it is, a slightly difficult mouse movement.
It's more important to go in the air than aim the feathers right.
Yeah,
that way you don't die.
Exactly. However, you saw how much damage they put out.
Yep.
If those feathers from that ultimate, had actually been the correct way, maybe they
might have gotten another with the root, yeah.
Or maybe they just don't lose the turret because, a hell trade or something.
Yeah.
Regardless, though, that's a small mistake in a fight where TSM did fend off Cloud9 super bad.
And Sven is on Infinity Edge. He was last fight. He still is now. He's going to be huge in team fights again. 4 melee with feathers passing through everything. This is like the ideal Xayah kill everything composition to place against.
Yeah, TSM have all these hopes on Sven and Bjergsen scaling huge DPS sources. They can't make mistakes like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they got to make sure they can line up their targets, but it's certainly doable. 3,500 gold. This is well within reach on both sides. Game 1 was a comeback for Cloud9. TSM can easily make the same happen here. Neither team has ever missed Worlds and had the chance to play for it. Cloud9 might be knocking out TSM, or maybe the opposite, if the comeback will come through.
What a year for both of these teams. Long journeys, both of them looking for recognition. Now Licorice on the run. Last come from X.
Good pillar as well. They're waiting to see if they can force the ultimate, and they will do so. Hoping to get that cooldown out of him, they get it.
Pretty good heads-up play there from Mithy.
Yeah.
Does use his ultimate to get that to happen, but they get the Hecarimal in exchange. So not kind of all costs thrown out, but we'll see if it does actually matter because both of those ults are pretty low cooldowns.
You got 20 CDR from Trinity Force, and I'm expecting Celerity, I guess, instead of Transcendence. So
yeah,
just the 20 CDR in this Hecarim, but still going to cut that down a fair bit. Blabber looking for a blue buff steal, and TSM, I believe that Trundle was spotted by the Squire's Bloom. Now he wasn't, so he's going to walk in there, and ooh, Smite plus Sneaky W grabs the blue buff. That was well timed.
Sneaky happy to get that one. I mean, yeah, and that timing is literally just looking at your screen and seeing the projectile coming in. Now, Blabber will have a better view of it because he was on that side and Sneaky's on his team, so he can know that it's coming in. But definitely
We've seen many a jungler fail to smite against Sneaky W, though. So
very true. He's stolen bigger objectives.
No. Blue buff, the most important. I've seen Koreans AFK when the second blue buff goes away.
Well, this is actually getting to be a very dangerous fog of war situation for TSM. If you toggle it right now, they're facing a dive comp, and they have no vision of where the dive is going to come from. So that's why they're moving in a pack. Maybe that's a good thing that has finally forced them up into staying as 5, so no one gets picked off. But that is important. Number 1 for them to do. Greek now going into the jungle. He's looking for a pillar.
Gets that one. Blabber able to walk around it. When's the engage coming through? Miasma. He's going to stay alive. Licorice waiting on the side. Not going to find his opening yet either. Elixir of Iron help his team dive in past him.
Cloud9 should be putting the pressure on by pushing up sidelines, but here they go.
Dive towards Smith. He goes back to the team. Here comes Galio. Not going to find one yet, though. Blabber at 5 HP. Look for the backline, and Big Talk comes in, and they're going to find the kill on his Sven. That's most of the damage gone. Now on for Cassiopeia as they trade back on a Galio. Looking at the trade kills. In the front line is Hauntzer. He's popped that stopwatch at 5 health, and they can't quite find him. Licorice can't get that kill. The shield comes up, and it's still just the 1-for-1.
Explosive dive right there. In the end, TSM can chase Cloud9 off, and with Sneaky low, TSM actually get the chance to push for the first time in like 10 minutes. This is their opportunity to put some very critical wards down. Baron is on the table. Both teams have plenty of damage to take it, so number 1 priority now for TSM while they have time on the map is get those wards.
So the Acer Predator replay coming through. Sian again trying to find the dive on the close by Mithy, but the re-engage not bad on either side.
That was great from Zazel on the Alistar. Gets a triple knockup to set up for Jensen. And I thought Bjergsen was going to be stuck right there, but he has such a quick flash and cleanse that the Cassiopeia is able to threaten the rest of Cloud9 off of this dive and turn it around for themselves. They got the kill onto Jensen from the dive in with Galio. And the flash expended. You can already see the threat of this TSM late game damage output. Cassiopeia and Xayah just melting whoever is on the front line.
And a needlessly large rod in Bjergsen's inventory will eventually be a death cap, and that is a gigantic power spike. And he can start taking over those games. It is a 2-threat team. The Cassiopeia, not quite as big as the Xayah just yet, but you saw what happened when Sven died. Bjergsen could still take over the fights.
And now it is so important for which team is able to play the team fight without summoner spells on their carries. Looking down the list here, we only have flashes on the junglers left. Every other person burning most of what they had in that last fight, and we've got an Infernal Drake to spark the next one.
And the active items also worth tracking. Bjergsen's are back up, but no Guardian Angel for Blabber, so this is a weakened Nocturne.
All right, another good cooldown. Since we're on the items, again, is the Stone Plate. Grig can be so tanky on Trundle in the front lines, steal away some stats from Galio, and then
want to buy
for
time.
it.
You want to buy time? The smite! Over the wall! Grig gets it, and watch for the re-engage. Will they come in, or will they knock down the Trundle? It'll be a kill for the Dragon, and now they re-engage onto Aatrox. They can force the passive, they can force the ultimate, and now the 5v4, the dive in. They get the fear. In comes Galio. No CC, but they can knock down Hauntzer, and that is a kill picked up. 5 versus 3. A big stun. Bjergsen gets 1, but now he is alone against the team, and they will get that kill. +2 for Cloud9.
Grig gets the steal, but it costs his team every anything, Cloud9 will be happy to take the Baron instead of the Infernal Drake. What a re-engage for them.
Absolutely a great play, and not sure if Grig needed to go for that or the team should have re-engaged, but now with the Ocean Drake helping them sustain, C9 will not get low on this play. Sven has an ult, but imagine making this outplay even happen. Zeyzal gonna walk up to zone out the team. Ward spots it, headbutt pulverize, a little bit of damage towards Alistar. Will they find much of anything? They're gonna find their death. They just caught that one. As another kill comes through to Cloud9. This time Baron's a formality, as turrets fall to minions as well.
Yeah, you're definitely playing with fire, trying to poke around that Baron with no tank and the speed that Cloud9 have available. Here's Grig, his eyes are on the steal. If you're going for a steal, then you need to either commit to everyone else running or everyone else joining the fight afterwards, and TSM are completely split. Hauntzer here was going back and forth in no man's land in the middle of the two teams right there. So very clearly looked like TSM did not have their goal set for this objective before heading into it. They were trying to decide as the play unfolded, and they were not in conjunction.
That damage out of Sneaky, and they're going to keep pushing right now. There's still no Sven. He just now respawned. So 5v5 as he comes out of the base, but you can see the split push. Licorice top side knocks down a turret as mid lane falls as well, and no one's answering top. It's going to be the disengage now. They're going to try to re-engage in this team, but keep in mind, Hecarim's not around. It's not hoping to force the team back. Licorice still split from the squad. TSM don't yet know where he is. He comes back in a vision, but two turrets were cracked. C9, will they re-engage? Will they keep pushing? It's a TP to the bottom side. They're trying to find other things to attack as Jensen went back to base, bought some more items, Void Staff done. Sneaky has to respect Grig.
Yeah, Jensen has his ultimate on Galio available, so he TP'd to the bottom side to apply Baron buff and keep all three lanes of pressure for Cloud9 pushing in on TSM's base. They want to wear away at these structures. They don't even have to auto-attack them. They just have to buff up some minions to get close enough. The cannon taking down mid inhibitor with Sneaky there.
Yeah, there's no end in sight. 2 minutes left in the Baron buff. It's a lot of waves to push in. Top is going to fall. Licorice makes that split push happen. Has the ult to disengage. Bot taking a little bit of damage, and you can see mid down to under 1/4. The occasional auto attack landing as Jensen will wave clear yet again. Licorice shoves in top. Mid about to be auto sneak. He has to respect. So it is Zeyzal. Not going to get pulled in, but might have to respect the rest as pops the ultimate and a redemption to buy a few more seconds. But now they're going to go for the dive. C9 want in. Here comes everybody looking for those fights. Smithy is low. Kites back, stays alive. Watch for Jensen and watch for Bjergsen. It's a trade of kills, and it's TSM picking up one more as a double comes through for Xayah. Mithy's low. Zen revives. They can win this fight. It's going to be another kill coming through. Look at TSM win that one 4-1.
They've done it. TSM defend their mid inhibitor. Only 2 more auto attacks left on that thing, but they take down Cloud9, and now they have the run of the map. Death timers are already upwards of 35 seconds, and they're trying to push out.
They're going to have to go for turrets. There's no neutral objectives to grab, but they've got that lone caster minion, and Grig will defend it with his life walking in. Mid-tier 2 will fall. Respawn timer still upwards of 20 seconds. The inhibitor turret itself might drop as well.
All right, the next thing to look for will be the scuttle crab around the dragon area, because Elder Dragon is coming up in 1 minute and 55 seconds. Flabber does snipe the minion, but they're sticking on it.
He's going to try to kill off Grig, though. Look at the damage he could have done. Almost gets the kill, but now picked off. He's got a Guardian Angel. He's got a shield. He's going to stay alive.
He does save the turret, and it means that TSM are so low right now, they have to worry about the reset. I don't know. They should get the scuttle crab before they retreat, though. We'll check in on that after the replay, because this is TSM's defense inside the base. When they needed to pull it out, Mithy goes for the counter engage on the Sneaky and then dodges out on the Galio. Oh, look at Bjergsen and Sven so low, but because he has a Guardian Angel, TSM's front line can re-engage, and Sneaky gets flashed on and is unable to get out.
Those are very big pickups there, and yeah, Jensen got the Guardian Angel, but they lost so many champions. Mid lane tier 2 fell. Scuttle goes to Cloud9.
Yep, TSM sustained too much damage on that inhibitor turret trade, so now it's Cloud9 with full vision around this Elder Dragon spawn. 53 seconds, and it will arrive on the map. If you have to walk through a dark jungle into a dragon setup from a team that has 10,000 yards of engagement, it is going to be very, very difficult here for TSM, considering they have an inhibitor itself down on top side. I don't see a way where Cloud9 don't get something out of this Elder Dragon spawn. Either they get an Elder Dragon or they find a pick on someone from TSM.
Yeah, with mid pushing in, it is in completely the scariest spot of the map to deal with. And mid is still very injured as well. That inhibitor, okay, it's at about 3/4 health, but still can be pushed. Cloud9 playing the fog of war in this jungle.
All right, TSM, they pulled off the difficult defense inside their own base. Now they have the difficult task of checking into Elder Dragon. They use a blue trinket right now. So there's a blue trinket on the Dragon. Can see that TSM or Cloud9 are not doing it quite yet, but that will not last long.
Quickly playing for the minion waves. They can't let one sneak in. Right now, though, that Kai'Sa is going to be soloing the bottom side of the map and trying to take down this. There's a wave that TSM can push. On a bad fight, they can go for the base right away. Jensen and Licorice now forced to run away. This Dragon's at half HP, but TSM's going to be in range. They've won the smite before. This time it's picked up by Blabber. Now a 5v5. Zeyzal takes at the front line, and it's going to be engaged on the backside. They're going to try to burn down their opponents. The knockup comes in towards the backside. In comes Galio. No kills just yet. No knockouts either. Licorice still forced to run away. No ultimate. Finally, Bjergsen goes down. 5v4 the chase. The knockup Greg. He's going to buy 3 seconds, but he will still drop. Licorice could get burned down, but he won't. 5v3 on the map. Cloud9, what can they get next? The re-engage is Hanser. Wants to fight Blabber, but he's terrified.
Yeah, and Blabber wins round 1. Round 2, 1, 2, 3, fight!
And they're going to go for the knockup, but he's still got a Guardian Angel on his side, and they're going to get that kill, and not even the Grump will help. 5 versus 2, ready to push. Looking for Sven. Watch out, Sneaky. He's going to be rooted, but he's still going to find that kill. It's the ace for Cloud9.
Clean ace for C9, and it is going to be a clean series as well. 2 games in their hands.
Triple match point, and Cloud9 could be the team that prevents TSM from ever going to Worlds this year. 1 more to go. Cloud9 2-0.
What a road it has been for this C9 team. Quite an exciting summer. From 10th place, roster swaps, criticism from the community over their training methods. And yet, they made it to finals. They did lose in the finals, but they're trying to make up for it here in the gauntlet and get to Worlds to represent North America. That is going to be huge for a lot of these guys. They had never even been in a finals until now.
3 of these players, it's their first year playing LCS.
Now they're already looking at the world stage. The dream of all professional League of Legends players is within their grasp.
Now, we've seen reverse sweeps before. Cloud9 themselves have been notable for it. TSM can certainly make this happen. We know these games have been close, but now the pressure's on. And I want to start telling or asking about the future of C9 a little bit now because we're so close to sending C9 to Worlds. They've got to figure out the roster as well because they've had the 7-man roster through playoffs. Worlds is only 6. So far, Blabber and Jensen are playing well, but they've got to make that distinction at some point down the line. That is a story I want to hear about in the coming weeks. But for now, Cloud9 with 1 win away from making it to Worlds. We're going to send it down to the analyst test to break down exactly how they won that.
Thank you very much, Freak. 38 kills in 42 minutes. That game was nutty on so many levels, from champion select all the way through to the end of it. I want to start with the final team fight because, again, with all the chaos and the back and forth, the push, the pull, I want to identify where Cloud9 came out on top here at the end before we work our way back through the game as a whole.
I mean, this is a really tense situation. There's 2 Dragon stacks on. Zeyzal's basically going full decoy duty to stop Grid from getting in, who was outsmiting Blabber, so he was able to make sure Blabber could secure this so they could use the Elder buff burn in the fight that followed.
Oh my god, so close. Mithy goes in to try and zone back. The Galio ult doesn't really hit anyone, but they get Bjergsen in stasis, and then just Galio and a Kai'Sa W pops him on top of having the Elder burn, which is really important in spread out fights like this.
Yeah, one of the things I love there that they did is Licorice held on to his ultimate, whereas the majority of fights he was initiating with it, and then the Galio would follow. They swapped it up there at the end. He just went in with the Z Galio off of that. Picking up these necessary kills here. Sneaky with a big play going in 1v2 on the back.
Yep, being able to stop the recall to make sure that they got the kill there was pretty huge. And it's a close series, dude. This is a crazy,
close
crazy
2-0
game.
Very close 2-0. Very, very close 2-0. But I want to make sense of the draft that was pulled out here from Cloud9. We have seen them bring out the Hecarim before, but it's always been in the jungle and to very little success. This time around, flex it up to the top lane. They pull that Nocturne in. High damage, high dive. Aframu, what do you make of this Cloud9 team comp?
C9's really good at unique picks and having them combo well with others. So they flex the Hecarim top. And Hecarim's biggest weakness is when he goes in, you just focus him. So they have the Nocturne, 6 seconds of darkness for when he goes in. They also have the Galio ulti to reduce his damage taken and then spread out the team fight. So TSM doesn't really have enough time to react to the Hecarim top coming in. And he just had to not lose early game where Aatrox gets ahead and stuff like that. So they did that, and then Hecarim later on in the game just ran over everything.
Yeah, I mean, even Kai'Sa can get involved in those dives if they're going well with her ultimate able to join in. So they basically have 5 dives. That's how they want to choose to take these team fights. And TSM did have some good peel tools and kite back, but it felt like they just never had enough to completely get out of a fight once they tried to disengage.
Zai was actually a good pick for TSM into this competition. Like, everything trying to dive on top of him. The big thing, though, is that Sven needs to be able to ult before the fear tether gets on him, and also ult in the right direction. He ulted backwards multiple times because I think he was trying to do it so quickly that he was halfway kiting backwards while he was pressing his ultimate every single time. But so much of this early game as well was just Nocturne getting some early kills. But the absolute aggression and the variability of C9's initiations, the fact that Nocturne goes in, gets some summoner spells out, then Hecarim goes in, and that's the one that's comboed with Galio. So often you see these Galio-Jarvan-style wombos, but they got to vary it this time into TSM, and I felt like that made it a lot more effective.
Yeah, I mean, what you're going to see in a couple of these replays, too, Haunter just not being on the same page at all with his team. Here, Grig goes for the Smite Seal, and Haunter's just messing around 2v1 in the river. The lights are out, so I can understand that maybe the communication is not great, and it's not just him, but a lot of these fights consistently have him too far forward from the rest of the team, and now TSM maybe could have defended the Baron 4v5. You see that this is still a relatively close fight, but because C9 is still able to re-engage onto them and get the kill on to Bjergsen, now they get the Baron for free.
But there was that moment there after where we saw exactly what you were talking about. Hecarim can go in, disrupt the fight, and even though he's not necessarily putting a lot of damage out, his fear and then the Galio zone control completely split up the entire team of TSM, and it was easy then for them to focus down Bjergsen.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is the one where C9 messed it up. They could have just used Baron to focus the inhibitor, but they decided to take the fight a little early when TSM was already grouped up and ready to counter engage and not so split up. So TSM were able to win this one right here.
Yeah, and this was one of kind of 2 of the moments where you're wondering, C9, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, why is Blabber ulting in on a Trundle right in front of a turret? Why are you blowing everything? But it's because they get 24 kills in 41 minutes in a total bloodbath. You get the bad with the good. It's because they were so willing to just go for it in this unlocked game style that I think they were able to win this game. It's just, it was very touch and go in a lot of places where they didn't always have the perfect initiation.
I mean, it's what you asked them to do, right? Play to some degree without fear and with a lot of confidence. And Mark, you keyed into something, you know, kind of along that similar sentiment that, you know, while yes, you will get, you know, some of that bad, it'd be even worse to tell them to play in a safer manner because you lose it all, essentially.
I mean, it comes down to people's play styles, which are somewhat innate into who they are. And so, like, Blabber, you hear them talk about is this crazy guy, goes off gut instinct, and so sometimes you do get him killing himself, but you also have to understand that he's 4, 3, and 8 with his play style, as opposed to when he's getting shut down and trying to play like what feels his more reserved and heady approach when he ends up like 0, 2, and 1. And so, to Jat's point, yeah, you take the bad with the good because the good just won you 2 games to qualify you to World.
All right, Aframu, we're heading towards Game 3. 2-0 lead for C9. TSM's got to put together 3 victories. Let's just focus on the one here coming in Game 3. How do they do it? Because when you watch a team like Cloud9 pull something out like that, which I have to believe TSM did not expect to some degree, you know, what's your response? How do you recover from that, both from a Champions-like perspective, but as well from a mental perspective in terms of how we play the game of League of Legends from this point?
C9 is really good at the chaos style. Just keep fighting, going all in, you know, the Hecarim, Nocturne, and stuff like that. So I think they should drop the Braum ban and have Zeyzal put him on Braum. And then their bottom lane will be a little bit more...
susceptible? Less playmaking?
Just a little bit more easy to control.
Okay.
Rather than having the Alistar where it's like very disruptive and stuff like that. Because TSM just want a team fight style, front to back. Don't have to worry about, you know, Hecarim engage, Nocturne engage, maybe ban one of those instead for their, you know, Zillion comms, etc. that they are banning. But they also have a bunch of flex picks. So now Hecarim is a flex pick. So I would, and it seems that they're really practiced on it because they're really comfortable just going super ham in all of these team fights.
What about for you guys? Jat, thoughts on TSM? There's been so much conversation around Bjergsen's performance in the latter half of the split. carries, tanks, utility champions. When everything's on the line, where do you go?
I think Bjergsen has been playing great, and I don't think that it is necessarily you must put him on a carry. I actually want Grig on someone who can initiate. I think Trundle is his worst champion. He hasn't won with it in the last month. He's played it 5 times in playoffs. Like, don't do that. There's so many other initiators you can put. And then make the composition work around that, because Bjergsen is their best player. He's playing, I think, as well as he has actually for years, but when they're not picking him in synergistic situations, it's not working. So I think Zillion's fine. I think Galio will be fine, but I really want to see them get initiation, because if TSM has the setup for a play, C9 hasn't been good at reacting. So TSM needs to get in the driver's seat.
Yeah, to Jazz's point, like, I don't care if it's Jensen or if it's Zillion and Camille, or if it's Aurelia Sejuani. I don't care which of those two they're playing. Those are two different styles, but at the end of the day, it's a synergistic combo, and that's what Jat's looking for, and that's what I want to see. I want to see the playmaking around Bjergsen.
All right, synergy, tools to go in. You need to take the initiative here if you want to take some games in this best of 5. We're hoping for 5 games, which means TSM needs to put some wins together. They got to step it up now, or rather, to continue their streak of Worlds appearances. See if they can extend the series versus Cloud9 when we return.